Well, I have 7:03. I call this meeting of the General Government Public Safety Committee to order. I know attendance has already been taken. Any comments from citizens? Hearing none, moving on to Police Department. Activity reports and pickup. Chief, is there anything you want to point out?
I know in a couple of those reports from the traffic, the speed documentary, for lack of a better word, trailer. I've been talking to Officer Enix, and he has been talking to a rep that says, if you get a car that's moving away and a move that's coming in on it, it will record a false, which is what I had a conversation with about. So he kind of confirmed that that's happening. It's a software problem. They don't have a fix for it. So you see something that says 118 miles an hour going down Allen Street, I really doubt that that's happening. But you might get two, one's going 70, or whatever, and it meets another one. So you never know that. But that's kind of a thing that I know we talked about in the past. So I think that's false number. Moving away from that a little bit, we are down 2 spots. We're going to be shortly anyway. There's a couple of factors on that quite frankly, I can't control, the council can't control it. Moberly experienced the same thing, Columbia's experiencing the same thing, Boone County, Audrain, they all experience it. And the difference is that we're robbing people to pay Paul on these things. We get somebody from somewhere, they up the pay, some of the benefits or whatever, and people leave. And quite frankly, that's just the way it is. You can't hire somebody if you don't get applications. Columbia, I talked to a friend of mine that works in Columbia in recruiting, and they're not getting anybody that's post-certified, so everybody that they're hiring has to be sent to the academy, and Columbia pays for it. Moberly has not gotten any applications. We've gotten one, but it's not somebody I would want to hire, so we're not. That's the reality of it. So
Those two.
maybe it's a discussion for another time about what we can do, if anything. I don't know. I've got a few suggestions, but when you squeeze the turnip and nothing comes out, that's just where you are with budgets. And
is it just dollars and cents on pay, or
at the end of the day, the young kids don't care what happens 30 years from now. And Audrain County just upped their pay, Boone County up both jailers and deputy pay. Columbia's going up at least another 4% in October. That's excluding the 5 or 7% they gave them in the last 6 months, plus a bonus of $1,500 for if you were there during the pandemic. On and on and on. So, but with that said, on their patrol roster, they're down 20 people. They have 20 openings on their roster. And that doesn't even include what's happening on the backside in investigations and other specialty assignments. So, with that said, at the end of the day,
openings, we're short 20% of 2.
Exactly. And not only that, and we got somebody that's getting ready to go out on baby leave for a couple weeks. Let's hope that COVID doesn't hit again, because at the end of the day, what that's going to produce is a lack in services. You may not have 24-hour service in Centralia for a time period.
The two that you said that are leaving, when are they? This coming month?
One's already gone, one's going to be gone the 7th.
Okay.
The good news is we've got some part-timers that are really stepping up. And hopefully maybe around mid-month we'll have another part-timer coming on board. So that'll take some of that off.
Is it easier to get part-time versus full-time?
I would take any time, but they,
I
no, because they have to have post-certification. Most guys want to keep their certification current, so they'll work a shift or two somewhere. But I will say, no, it's not any easier getting part-timers than it is, getting a full-timer.
Could you put together your ideas that you have and send them to us to have, and then we can kind of circulate it and.
I asked Heather about that today, if a
If you could do
letter or
that,
something to the council.
if you have some ideas, why don't you share them with us, and then we can explore what the options are to be able to help you in the department, be able to attract people, right, and retain them.
We'll work on the numbers part of what we talked about to help you here.
Yeah, that'd probably be smart. we'll see.
Any other for police department? Fire department, I don't see an activity report.
That's because you threw Roger off. Uh,
Oh, it's a week early?
Yeah, Roger's got a set time, don't you?
Anything you want to point out there?
I mean, we had a busy month. I mean, we did the 4th of July on Saturday, and it seemed to work out on our end. I don't know about Parks end participation, but our end seemed fine. We've done, myself, Matthew, and Aaron had a little meeting with the ISO representative, probably about the middle of the month, wasn't it, 17th? Yeah, it was on 17th. Matthew and Aaron did the fire hydrant, whatever you all do, and
Report,
I did the fire hose test, the fire truck test, and all that for him. And he took his information, and I'm sure he'll get back with us and see what number we're gonna be again, so. And then I think, if you notice, maybe, was it May or June, we wrote that $high check for Banner Fire to get the fire truck fixed. Just to tell you, it didn't pass pump test again. So they come last week, last Tuesday or Wednesday, so I went there while they were testing that truck, and it didn't pass, so. I asked them text while they were there, what are we gonna do, and they were in circles. So I text the dude that sold us the truck, and I still got, he hasn't answered me back yet what we're gonna do. We're gonna have to get somebody from E1 that did the pump part, or this and that, so. I'm probably not gonna play very fair, because I'm sure I'm gonna get a bill for that pump test, and I'm probably gonna slide it to the side for a while, so. We'll do something,
Okay.
just make it be what it is, so. Either come and fix it right, or. And then, like I said, a lot of medical calls again, some serious, some not. I'm gonna talk to Harlan about one that seems to be going off all the time here lately, so. I mean, I have called, told the guys when we get that address to ask for a police officer to come to it. It seems to make them uptight even more when the police come, so we'll see what happens.
Are those the medication chasers?
Is that what you all call them? I call them frequent flyers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on, emergency management. Nothing? Semi-protective inspection? Okay. Those are $1,250, it's in your packets. Any questions or comments? Doesn't look like we have any reports from the Chamber of Commerce. Okay. Park Board agenda and minutes are in your packet. Any questions or comments? Same with the Library Board agenda and minutes. Cemetery Advisory Committee, no report? No. Same with the Tree Board?
Yes.
And then balance sheet for financial statements, anything you want to point out, Heather?
Actually, you don't have the financial statements yet,
Oh,
since today's
okay.
the last,
Sorry.
first day of the month, she's not had, I don't even know if she's received the bank statements yet.
Okay.
To be able to balance.
So let's
So
get
that
rid of
will be included on the 15th meeting.
Okay. Then other general government, city code 3.5 Sunday alcohol sales.
So this was brought to our attention actually by Jody at Extreme Mart. She pointed out that, a representative from ATF had visited their store and said that the state law had changed to be able to sell alcohol from, beginning at 6 a.m., on Sunday. And we allow it only from 9 a.m. till midnight on Sunday for alcohol sales. And our ordinance can be more restrictive than what the state law is, and it is currently. So I sent a notice to every location that sells packaged liquor to let them know that our ordinance states 9 a.m. to midnight is when they can sell alcohol, and they cannot sell it beginning at 6 a.m. on Sundays, unless we change the ordinance. And then if they are in favor of that or opposed to that, then they should write to you all. I give them all of your contact information. And I don't know if you've received any notices, but this is something I believe I sent it all to you as well. So we do have an ordinance prepared to change our code to match the state statute, unless you all do not want to move forward with that. So
When we did the 9 a.m., that was to simply copy what the state was saying, right?
probably is.
I mean, because originally, the state was 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Did anybody hear anything?
Used to be new.
I haven't,
Blue law, white, new, back in the day,
I haven't heard anything.
long time ago.
Eagle stop like to see it changed.
Yeah.
Follow state ordinance of this, I mean, and that's my thought at least.
Well,
Not
that
that I
seems
don't
to
buy
be-
any, I'm just.
Yeah.
Well, if you're gonna have people come through on the way to something, or, you know, they're gonna wholly assume that it's a state law,
Right,
no matter where they're at.
okay. So we'll move forward with that.
Moving on, section 425, the city code, keeping of barking, etc., dogs or cats, responsibility of owners.
Okay. Subsection E, I just want to point out that we already have it in our ordinance, in our code. It shall be unlawful for the owner of any dog or cat to fail to prevent or keep such dog or cat from defecating on any street right-of-way, alley, or other public place, or on private property except private property owned or occupied by said dog owner or cat owner, unless the excrement is removed immediately. So we do already have that in our ordinance, that's why it's in there. Just to let you know.
Ordinance is there, it's a matter of catching and identifying.
Yes.
Well, the one
Well, we should do DNA tests.
Well, if they gave us a good description, one walk the list, so y'all kept it with it, so.
I know they said that you just said you're down, gonna be down too. So, but is there any way, send a cruiser up for a couple hours over there and see what I mean,
Yeah, I got you, no problem.
I mean, they could have a camera, some sort of a
well,
camera.
somebody's sending some pretty good pictures to Chris, so they must
I'll
have,
share with you guys.
they've got
With
something.
their cell phone probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so-
Hopefully crisis will be averted soon, so. Change to city code regarding campers and recreational vehicle parking.
Okay, so this has been brought up several times. Our code is very vague on where people can put campers and things like that. So I found a few things that might help to make this more clear, make it clearer. So there are some changes. Everything's in red. Major recreational equipment, Sydney's looking at that still, so that's not quite ready to go. She's not exactly sure about that wording, but that has to do with the parking. So it says that you cannot park it there. You can't park it on the street. You can't park it on the street right of way, the city right of way, that kind of stuff. So that makes that clearer. And then the next section deals with trucks, buses, moving vans, and major recreational equipment, etc. And outlines all of that, tells you where you can park these things and where you cannot park these things.
So, reading, I guess it's the one that's 1836C.
Yes.
So reading through it, can someone keep it in their driveway for more than 24 hours? That's, to me, it was, and it may just be me reading the legal jargon. I wasn't quite sure if it was saying a homeowner can store theirs on their driveway, store, not live in, store on their driveway or not.
I don't know, we can change that, we can add it in to say where they can store it in their own driveway.
Or a paved surface, or it even said the other section had residential or businesses that had gravel that they had them on.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think people, I don't wanna make it so people can't store them at their residence.
Right.
And it's a substantial cost to store them elsewhere.
I think the biggest concern was parking them in the street right away.
Parking them in the street right away, people living in them for, you know, and again, if somebody's got a family member who brings theirs over, or they pull theirs out and they're there for a week or 10 days, that's not a big deal. That's somebody's on vacation visiting and they're spreading out, but somebody living in it for 3, 6, 9 months, years, on our city streets or in their front yard or something, that's a concern.
Agreed.
Does that fit with what you're thinking, Landon?
Yeah, I don't think you ought to be able to live in them.
Yeah, so they'll live in them, the family visiting should be able to.
Yeah.
Yeah, they come in to visit for graduation or whatever, they want,
Yeah.
whatever it may be.
If somebody has a camper, why run a hotel if you can put electricity and water to it?
That's my thought.
Hmm?
I said that's my thought.
Yeah.
You know, the fire department doesn't know these people are living in things. So when we go, you know, we've had campers on fire before. It's kind of nice to know that people are occupied or doing something.
There's a couple around town that I
Oh, I know
suspect
it.
people are living in.
It's like you want them to registered or something?
Well, I mean,
They're not supposed
Well, if you have
Not a residence.
if you have an ordinance set, there should be nobody living.
right,
to- And
that won't, we've had that, I mean,
That's what I'm saying, but I mean,
It's not a legal residence, correct?
no, it's not, and then the zoning code defines dwelling, as, and it specifically excludes like recreational vehicles as a dwelling, so they're not supposed to live in them unless it's zoned for that.
I just have a question. What's the city prepared to do for someone that says, no? What are you gonna do about it? I mean, because that's what it comes down to when you have the problem, then you look for enforcement, and then you have to have follow through on that.
I agree.
It's like any nuisance property that we have in town, where there's tons of lawnmowers and all kinds of the crap. What are we prepared to do as a city to enforce, let people know, we're gonna haul all your crap off if you don't follow through?
Can we disconnect their electricity?
That's what I'm saying. It's just food for thought on what the city's prepared to do to counteract,
Go it
you
away?
know,
I don't know.
someone's
We
saying
have
no.
a brand new truck that would pull them.
What's that?
She said, what about, we haul away? I said, we do have a brand new truck that's capable
Look
of
at Aaron,
hauling.
he already doesn't wanna do it.
It's end use at the moment.
We need a dually, or not a dually, I mean, a fifth wheel attachment.
Right, moving on, property fact sheet, in the very last page of the packet.
So this will be an ordinance, for the August meeting, if you, if the board is wanting to move forward with, Proposition U, which is the use tax. I did the first presentation at the Kiwanis meeting a couple weeks ago, for educational purposes only. And, I have an entire presentation, that I can share with anybody if you all will go out and educate the public about this use tax, so, I
How
can
was it
send to
received?
you. It seemed like it was received very well. There were, several questions. I think they understood it. Actually, several people thought it had already passed. They didn't realize it had failed last year or 2 years before last year.
2 years ago, we didn't have it last year, did we?
I don't know.
We didn't do it.
We didn't do it this
When
year.
the school board was there, they.
So we did.
whatever our sign grant, last, I'm not sure what it was.
But I think just getting the information out there and so people understand it a little bit better,
How long is your presentation, like 15 minutes?
yeah. You want it perform? I mean, really?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay. You can invite somebody, both of you.
Hmm?
You can invite one of your colleagues.
Should we get it in here? Can you let us see it one night?
You wanna see it right now?
Sure.
I'm gonna make this even longer.
Done.
Sorry, guys.
I would say.
That goes for
do it
you.
after the
Oh,
meeting
you
for
all
those who
could.
wanna stay.
I'll do it after the meeting if you want to stay.
You've been on time, Mike had to ask you questions.
That lady, they wanted to make that natural flower place at the end of Columbia Street. She is not mowing that.
We just had an email about that.
You just talk to somebody, I think Bennett's gonna know it.
It's her property, isn't it?
If we're talking about the same property, it sure sounds like the same
When
property.
Todd Kelly built that last house,
Yeah.
that goes to a triangle and that's hers, correct? So are we gonna bill her for it? Or you can have her come mow my yard. I'll be good with that, for free.
I'm just reporting what I heard.
Well, I know that. But I mean, are we gonna have that, bill that lady for it?
Any time that we go and somebody's out of compliance and we mow for them, they should get a bill
Maybe.
for they do, I'm pretty sure, right? It's
Yeah.
not enough, though. No.
Not enough.
It's just a lien on their taxes, isn't it?
Usually we send them a
So
bill,
I think, yeah.
I don't know, $50 maybe?
Yeah, it's just
Not
not
very
even,
much at all.
not enough to make it hurt enough that they're gonna wanna mow their yard next month.
That's probably close to going rate right now,
$50?
or depending on the size.
As long as you have to have a brush off the
Matt
track,
said
it's
he
just
charged me
30 foot
60 to do
tall.
mine.
So we clean it or we adjourning?
Whatever you wanna do.
Okay, well, any as may arise?
I did send out, sorry, I'm keep blocking. Okay, so we did receive the, pre-assessed valuations, for the tax year next year. And the general fund and park fund, or park, tax rates will not be increasing. The library did see a slight increase. But, we just wanted to let everyone know that the county could decide, you know, to increase the, what do they call it?
Your assessed valuations.
Your assessed valuations, but it wouldn't be a tax rate increase coming from the city of Centralia. It would be from the county.
Yeah, it would just mean that if the value of your house increased, we still have the same tax rate, but that means you'll have more taxes to pay because the value of your house increased.
The budget for next year should be flat and maybe up depending on how things are valued.
Right, well, actually, so the calculations that Tara did today show that if we receive 100% of the taxes that we're supposed to based on the assessed valuations, our general fund will be up, I think it was like $40,000, and then the library would be up about $50,000, and then the parks would be up about 20.
That's a small percentage
No,
of the
that's
scheme of things.
The bottom is the parks, yeah, so about 25,000,
Yeah, small percentage of the scheme of things.
right. But it would be over budget, which would be good. We do budget those about 2% less than the previous year.
How often does the city actually receive all the taxes that it's supposed to receive?
So real estate is almost every year. Real estate property taxes, we only have an abatement of it's a very small amount that we abate every year. So, I would say on average, we probably receive like 98% of the taxes that are billed for real estate. Personal property is not that way, especially since they went to 2-year tags. Some people only pay their personal property taxes every 2 years whenever they have to relicense their vehicles.
That's a good idea.
All the tricks, so.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, we stand adjourned.
All right, will you turn on, you guys would really want to see this or not? It's not very long. If you're gonna present it, you have to see it.
Oh, yeah, I wanna see it before.
Okay.